In Test cricket, it's all about timing. And has the Australian captain misjudged the Brisbane Test match going into day 5? Hello and welcome to TV9 Digital. I'm Abhijit Singh Bhamra and alongside me I have my friend Atishay. To sum up the scorecard for our viewers, India at stumps on day 4 is 4 for no wicket. Did Australia batted way too long given that no team in history of Test cricket has chased over 236 runs for victory, and Australia by the time of the second session ended, they were already way past 300.
Well, as far as the question of batting too long goes, Abhijit, I think Australia took a calculated approach after what transpired in Sydney, because in Sydney we saw India came close to chasing down the target after Rishabh Pant's flamboyant innings there. So I think Australia were careful. They did score runs quickly, but they also had in the back of their mind, if they declare early, then there are chances of them actually losing the Brisbane Test, and that's why I think the declaration call never came, Abhijit.
They have one of the best attacks in the world. So everyone was wondering as to why is the declaration not coming in. Has Australia batted over 20 overs? Because there is also the threat of rain interventions which finally came. It came twice in the game. One just before the stroke of tea, and then in the third session where there was absolutely no game possible. And the worst part is, Atishay, that going into day 5 there is more rain expected. So Indians won't be complaining one bit, but for sure the Australian media and the cricketers will be slamming Tim Paine for not declaring early.
Well, you can see it in both ways, Abhijit. As I mentioned, the first priority for any team in that situation is to make sure they don't end up losing the test match. I think Australia did exactly that. India will be comfortable going into day 5 because they only need a draw to retain the Border Gavaskar Trophy after all.
Absolutely. Let's talk about today's game in particular. Australia needed runs and they needed some quick runs. The energy was there, the intensity was there. They were scoring in excess of 4 at times in a session or in hours of play. How impressed are you with this third string of attack comprising the likes of Shardul Thakur, Mohammad Siraj, who bagged his 5-wicket haul, maiden 5-wicket haul, and Washington Sundar?
Well, absolutely right, Abhijit. Spot on you are on that front. Mohammad Siraj bagged his maiden five-fer just playing his second test match, and not to forget the hearty bowling effort of Shardul Thakur, who bagged 4 wickets, and Washington Sundar bagged 1 solitary wicket. But you have to commend the inexperienced Indian bowling lineup who kept the Australian batting in check, because whenever there was a possibility of a long partnership, Indian bowlers came back and dismantled the partnership and kept the Indians in the hunt.
Do you reckon India has the goods in them to sustain the last day given a full 98 overs of play?
Well, Abhijit, it will completely depend on the mindset with which the Indian batsmen come out on day 5. If they are just there to block it and then looking at the condition, how the pitch is behaving and how rugged it has become, Indian batsmen should learn from the mistakes which Australia committed in the Melbourne Test match. They should play the balls on the merit. If it's there to be hit, they should hit it. Else, if they just go out and block every delivery, I think then it will be a problem for Team India, Abhijit.
Australia has 324 runs in their bag. India has 10 wickets. Is it about survival? Is it about chasing history? Well, one can say that if rain god intervenes on day 5, then India already has half of their hands on the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Remember, they require only a draw to retain Border GavaskarSeries, and after what transpired in Adelaide, that will indeed be a huge achievement. You remember, there are also World Test Championship points to be earned by both the teams, and that will play a major factor in teams whether going for a draw or for a victory. 1 day is left, the final day, and as they say in cricket, it's not over until it's over. How did you like this video? Do you have any suggestions or feedback for us? Then do send in your comments and feedback in the section given below. And in the meantime, do not forget to subscribe to TV9 Digital across all social media platforms.